Here he. I don't even know what that means. But anyway, we're talking about Kenny. Finally talking about Kenny. So there's a lot of videos I can sit up here and go about with Kenny. And I'm not sure if this is going to be the only video about Kenny. So I don't know how I'm going to wrap him up in this video. We're just going to talk about Kenny. Let's do that.
You got it.
Alright, so this is Kenny backstory. Before the zombie outbreak, Kenny was a commercial fisherman in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And he met his wife Katja at a veterinary office. While caring for a sick octopus, they married and had a son named Kenny Jr., nicknamed Duck.
It's my boy, Ken Jr. We call him Duck, though.
A separation he later deeply regretted after his family death. Yeah, that hits deep. I'm not gonna lie, bruh. Occupation: Kenny worked as a commercial fisherman. He met and married Katja, who agreed to help a sick octopus he brought to a vet. They had a son named Kenny Jr., known as Duck, due to his lively nature. So pretty much they met that Kenny comes with a octopus into a veterinary, asking Katja to cure this thing. And she cured it, and what? Couple of months later or weeks, they wound up getting married. And then they named their son Kenny Jr. and nicknamed him Duck because he was lively of nature. That's actually pretty funny though. I'm not gonna lie, but it's actually sweet. Kenny and his family were traveling back from visiting Katja's sister in Memphis when the outbreak began, leading to the entailed traumatic events of the apocalypse. The outbreak brought immersiveness tragedy as Kenny lost his wife and son Duck. His wife's death was particularly difficult as she committed unaliving herself out of grief for their dying son. Pretty much during the outbreak, Ben sold out. I made a video about him if you want to go watch that. Ben sold out the whole gang, the whole group, to some raiders by giving them extra rations of pills and medicine. And when they didn't got their rations that one day, they came back fully loaded with guns ready for that smoke and fire. And during the outbreak of all the fight and everything, the whole group wound up losing the best setup they ever had at the Motor Inn. Duck was bit during the process of this outbreak of everything, and he wound up having his bite revealed later, showing after the whole fight in the whole Motor Inn. And that's when he lose Lily, because Lily sat up there and just shot Curly. I'm not gonna lie, that still pissed me off, bro.
Oh, no! No!
They was gonna put Duck out of his misery because he was not gonna be able to survive this at all. Lee volunteered himself because he didn't want these parents to sit up and do such a horrible act like this, because no parent deserved to do anything like this, and that's a real spill. So Lee decided to take the repercussions and deal with it himself so they can never put themselves through that. Gunshot went off, Kenny say no, Katja shot herself and wound up not being able to live and continue on with life because it was so bad to lose her son like that. It was so depressing that she just felt horrible. She couldn't bounce back from that. She wound up leaving Kenny behind, devastated and vulnerable and miserable. And this is when Kenny goes down a dark rabbit hole, and he gets dark here as well. He gets even much more darker in season 2, bruh. Season 2 still really scares me to this day.
Turn that shit off. Turn that shit off!
We're gonna talk about the last scene we ever saw Kenny after this, because we wind up seeing him in season 2, spoiler again. But when it gets down to this last scene right here with Kenny, I'm not gonna lie, I still don't know how Kenny made it out of there victoriously and by himself. That was a herd of walkers. He is just like Sarah. That's how you ambushing through a herd of walkers. Kenny wanna make it out of this herd of walkers just victoriously by just the grace of God. Like, it's a miracle, it's a blessing. Due to the fact that he was in the alley with Ben, because Ben sat up there and slipped and tripped and collapsed and fall in the alley and had a whole big old pole impaled inside of him. They tried to lift the kid up, but due to the injury, how bad it was, he couldn't even get out there. He was making too much noise. The walkers came through and Kenny had to end them off. He locked Lee in the other side of the gate. He wound up shooting Ben one good time, and then he wound up just running out of there, and then boom, he in season 2. But yeah, Kenny has probably like 2-3 endings here, but I'm gonna do it based off the knowledge of me researching this stuff up and remembering back in the day. So Kenny can honestly sit up here and die here. You can actually shoot Kenny. You can shoot Kenny, or you can look away. If you look away and you mess around and found the baby, I think you can still shoot Kenny. You still can. Because not only that, if you sit in the snow and Kenny just sitting there, he just laying down or something like that, I think you can still shoot him after you find AJ or something. Or you can still shoot Kenny after you saved him and everything, I think. If not, I'll put the footage and everything up here. And on top of it, you can just leave with Kenny and go to Wellington. And that ending, you already know how that winds up ending. There's only one person that can go in there. They'll take the kids instead of the adults. You can actually leave Kenny behind, and he probably gonna die from hypothermia, because his story don't get a continuation after that. They just script him and take him from The Walking Dead. But he actually get a continuation in season 3. He don't really get much of a story. He get a flashback, but it's still good to hear the voice line character person that played Kenny in season 3. Now his death is unfortunate.
Bitch, hold on tight, cause I tweaking this bitch, I letting shit go.